Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Stony Ridge Farm. It's going to be a little bit loud for a second. It's going to be a little bit rough, but stick with me here. We are on the backside of the farm, clearing a little bit of land. You can see where I've already been doing a little work right there. We're getting ready to jump in the excavator. You're going to join me for a little bit of lunch and fellowship, so we'll be talking a little bit, tell you about what's going on. Please be sure you ask any kind of questions you'd like to ask, any comments. Jump in there, hit that like button as you come in the door, folks. This is a fun day here on the farm. I've got a lot to get done, and we're going to take you guys along as I get it done live. We're going to have better service in a second. We're on the move right now, so it's going to be a little shaky, so bear with me, and we'll get it done. Please don't type out a copy of the Bible for me to read, because I can't read it. But if you have some shorter questions to ask or feedback or anything, please post it there. I'd love to hear it. I just can't read a paragraph that's 8 miles long. So, morning, Denise. Morning, afternoon. This is where we're at. And again, it's going to be better here in just a minute. First thing I'm going to do is eat lunch with you guys. Oh, stinky, stinky, stinky skunk. Got a big time skunk issue going on here. All right, I've got the machine running already. I'll just go ahead and turn it off. I've been over here working for a few hours, and it occurred to me this might be fun and interesting for you guys to see. FYI, I don't have my hat on, and I don't have any hair. All right, let's see what we got here. I'll just turn this critter off for a second and grab my water bottle back here in the back of the excavator. This is a John Deere 210 excavator. It's a big old boy, and we're going to eat lunch together before I get started. I was about to starve to death over here. I've been over here working for several hours, and Big Joshy gets hungry. So we'll talk a little bit. I'm going to just kind of do a little standing lunch break with you, and we'll get this thing hooked up where you guys can see what's going on. Cool. Good morning from Nebraska, Berlin Valley Stables up in Ohio. Philip, Brandon, Denise. Who else is in here? David. All you guys, thank you so much. Jerry, it's awesome. Anybody see the northern lights yesterday? Down south, the southern lights, I guess. I am about to starve to death, so you guys are going to get to hear me chew for a second, but it's all I can do. I'm a hungry boy. I have some pizza, some leftover pizza. So, to my lady friend, whom I'm dating, thank you for the leftover pizza. I thought I was going to be giving it to the neighbors, but turns out I have nothing to eat in the house. Well, yeah. It's not polite to talk with your mouth full. I get it. Jared's in the house. Leftover pizza is good. I'm sorry you guys have to hear me chew for a second, but trust me, I'm going to inhale 6 pieces of pizza in 4 minutes. Beautiful, beautiful weather today. Charlotte, North Carolina in the house. We got Missouri, we got Ohio, we got people all over everywhere. Awesome. Australia. What time is it in Brisbane, Australia, Mark? Watch me toss the crust. So, I filmed a video starting this off, and we're going to take you and show you exactly what we're doing in just a second, as soon as I inhale 15 pieces of pizza. But this was a windrow. You'll get a full dedicated video to this with aerial views and everything, but this was a row of stumps and debris that I did a test on. I just let it sit here and rot for 5 years. So we cleared this pasture right here, and the cows have never been on this. This is not fenced. We cleared this. We just pushed all the debris up into a pile in the middle of the field and let it rot. My thought was that will help build topsoil. We've got a low area down here that needs some fill dirt. So I'm going to come back in with a skid loader and smooth all this out, pull all the debris out, put it in a pile and burn it. That is the plan. 2:16 in the morning. Okay. In Australia. Awesome. Riverton, Wyoming. Beautiful country out there. Riverton. You guys have a come and go in Riverton, Wyoming? I think you do. I think I've stopped in Riverton at the come and go before. I think it was Riverton. So I hit a skunk right about there. And as I was filming yesterday's video, that'll be an edited video, I had to get off the loader. There was a skunk just beyond that, and I hit it, and it stunk so bad I couldn't even stand to stay on the machine. I had to get out. I had to bail. About 20 minutes into clearing this, I encountered my first skunk. And I guess this is great skunk habitat. Skunks, snakes, and all sorts of stuff. Rats have been running out of this. And no armadillos, though. So when I encountered my first skunk, I figured it'd have enough sense to get out of the brush pile and hear me coming. It's not like I'm moving like half of a mile an hour. And that stupid skunk just stayed there. And I guess I rolled a log over on it or something. And whoa, gosh, that stunk. I had to bury it over here. Not really into killing wildlife needlessly, but if you ain't got enough sense to get out of the way, I don't know what else to say. Just move. Skunks really don't have a lot of predators. If you guys know of a predator for a skunk, let me know. Maybe as they're babies, snakes might get them, but otherwise, nothing bothers them. They don't act like anything bothers them. You got Missouri in the house, Louisiana in the house. A lot of people from Louisiana. Awesome. So, you guys are going to have to patiently watch me eat one more slice, 3 more slices of pizza. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have a tummy ache. And then we'll get back on this. Please post any questions you might have. West Bygone, Virginia, Arthur, in the house. The wind's blowing this way while I'm eating, and the skunk smell is blowing right in my face. Pizza's delicious. It's skunk pizza. Yummy. Got some Minnesota, New York, KC. I guess it's Kansas City. Is that Kansas City, Kansas, or Kansas City, Missouri? Missouri. A lot of people don't know that it's right on the border of Kansas and Missouri, and there's Kansas City, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri. What's the better side of the river? Tell me, Cade. I think it's a river. Columbia, Missouri. Got some good friends in Columbia. Great place. Greg Judy is near Columbia, Missouri. I lost my car keys to my rental car in Columbia, Missouri. Didn't know you ate pizza. I do. Clearly. I'm trying not to face you and talk with food in my mouth. It's pretty rude. KC Metro. And most are on the Missouri side. Okay, gotcha. And Cade says Kansas City, Kansas. That's where he's from. So, I do eat pizza. I haven't done any meal prep this week. This has been a super, super busy week for me. One of the busiest weeks of the year. We sprayed the pastures this week with Nutri-Graze. I also put down a water-based fertilizer product on the pastures. And that has had me on the tractor for just hours and hours and hours, countless hours. Here's my buddy's airplane flying over. And I've been in this machine. This machine is big. We're going to walk around in a second. It's about a $1,600 per day rental. So if I'm not in this machine, I'm wasting $1,600. And I need to be in it from daylight till dark every day. Cows are good. We got 15 calves now. 2 Berlin Valley stables. Chris is in the house. Blake at Badgers, good to have you. One more handful of pizza and we'll jump back in the machine. Let me know if this bothers you guys. If you have to watch me eating. This is going to be a long live stream. Stick around. There's going to be a lot. You might come in and go out, come in and go out. Let me know when you leave. Let me know when you come back. This is going to be, I'm going to run this until the camera runs out of battery. So we're on my cell phone right now. So we'll probably have a good 2 hours. It is, what time is it? 12:15-ish, something like that. And we're going to be running till at least 2 o'clock, 2:30 here. I hope. Now, there's another airplane. What's the best way to eat pizza? Do you guys like a pizza sandwich like this? Or do you like to just eat it straight out? Who eats pizza with a fork? Let me know. Lucy says, doesn't bother me, but I'm fasting. Well, this is breakfast. I haven't eaten today. Midway Farms got to get back spreading manure. Right on, brother. So, there's going to be a future video showing you what all I've done here and why I did it. And there's going to be a future video digging a pond right there, right over there. And that's the next project. I'm going to do that tomorrow. My kids would like to rock my t-shirts. You can go to stonyridgefarmer.com and find the shirts. Yep, very easy. Very easy. And we'd be happy to sell them to you. I don't have time to run the farm and make the t-shirts, so I've got a company that makes the t-shirts for me and ships them out. We probably sell 30 or 40 t-shirts a month, something like that. Not a lot. 10:30 in Alberta, Canada. Pizza is for everyone. This is good pizza too. It's my first time having this type of pizza. I think we're going to be stripping off some cheese and just eating the crust in a second. I mean, just eating the cheese. Crow will get that. You guys would be so proud. You're the only people that know this. I bought a rock picker this morning. A rock picker. Not these, but a rock picker. You're going to see that in a future video too. I was combing through. I'm addicted to Facebook Marketplace like most men. Any of you guys addicted to Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist? I don't even mess with Craigslist anymore. It's all Facebook Marketplace. It somehow popped across my screen. A rock picker. I don't know how Facebook knew it, but man, that's what I've been needing. So bought me a rock picker today. Yeah. Tell me how many of you guys are addicted to Facebook Marketplace. Glad to see at least 40% of taste is smell. With a skunk aroma around, can't help the taste. Yes, this does taste a bit skunky. Absolutely. I like to comb Marketplace just to see what stuff costs. Just to know what the market value of things is. And you guys all know I like to buy cars all the time. I don't know. I've got 4 Honda Elements right now. That's okay. They're the nerd wagons. I like them. So many scammers on Facebook. I was addicted to Marketplace. You just gotta sort through that. If you're worried about somebody not being real or an advertisement not being real, pull up their profile. If they'd started it, if the ad's in 2024 and they'd started their profile 2 days ago, you might be wary of that. And if you list something on Marketplace, gosh, they just line up to get you. The scammers, they want to say, well, I need to make sure that you're legitimate. So I'm going to send you an email with a 3-digit code or a 5-digit code. And what they're doing is sending you an email so that they can break into your Facebook and steal all your information. Not cool. So here's what we got. Here's what we're doing. This is the excavator, and we're going to go inside the excavator here and start working. Gosh, that's a big spider. And what I'm doing is plugging my way through stumps and debris and taking out as many stumps as I can and dirt and kind of tossing it down the hill and up the hill. I'll come back with a skid loader and smooth all this out and take out all the stumps and debris, wood, and we'll get that burnt. This is what it looked like before. So this is the before, that's the after. That's about 350 yards long. This section that we're going to do on video today live is about 200 yards long. We're going to start here. We're going to work our way all the way through, and we're going to pluck out some of those nasty trees over there. And I also have some big pine trees down in the middle of the field that I need to get in and pluck them out. Having this machine on the farm, again, is costing about $1,600 a day, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot to get it done. You're going to bounce around a little bit in the cab with me. It's going to be fun, and we'll take you along. Oh my goodness. And it's really, really hard on your back. I hope I have some more coffee, and I have my my water shoes on because I wanted to go down the river today, but I won't have time. Me and some friends all go down the river 2 or 3 times a week typically, but I got to get all the dirt out of my shoes real quick. You don't have a pair of these, you ain't living right. These are Keens, and they're a protected toe, kind of a water shoe sandal. Some people might call them a hippie shoe, but I don't care. I don't care what anybody thinks about me. I just wear what's comfortable and makes me feel good. And these protect your toes, unlike most sandals, and they've got a really good bottom on them, so you can walk on them all day long. And when it's hot, I don't wear a lot of any more clothing than I have to. Actually went out and moved the cows with these on this morning. Okay, hopping in the cab. Oh. Kind of dreading bouncing around on this thing again. We're gonna do our very best to find the best position for our camera so that you guys can get the best view. You may see a little bit of dirt on the window. That's just it. So I want to play with that camera here in just a second and talk about what we're doing. We're going to turn the camera around. That's what I'm doing right now. Camera. And from front to back. Back triple, back double, back triple. Let's see what that does. There we go. Cool. I have horrible allergies right now, guys. I want to let you know that. So you may hear a little sniffling. I get, believe it or not, I'm a grass farmer, and I have a grass allergy, which is it's just par for the course. Just part of life, right? Okay. Now, I've got to get super squared away here so that you guys get the best view possible. So please bear with me just for a minute as I do this. There we go. That's not the best view possible. I think we're going to have to flip the camera over. So hang tight. Let's just get it right. We'll do it once and we'll get it right. There we go. This is my cell phone, by the way. I think that's a pretty good angle. Maybe over here. That's a pretty good angle. What do you guys think? That's going to show you what I'm doing. And we'll keep an eye on that. I'll be able to see some of your comments, but not read all of your comments. Let's get this thing started. Let's get it started. Anzagged. Our focus is in the wrong spot here. It's focused on the wire in front of the screen versus the activity in front of the screen. Let's see if we can make that a little better. I don't like this wire cage right here. I just don't like it. It's in the way. Totally in the way. Let's see if this view will get that stupid wire. It's even worse. That's the view we really need. So let me count the ways. It's hard to think this through. Very hard to think this through. It needs to be something metal for me. This is what I've got the camera on. It's a mount, and I'm thinking about sticking it right there and giving you guys that view, but it's really trying to show the cage more than the machine. Let me turn this around a little bit. We'll release the door. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Here comes the door. All right. Gosh, this is going to be a challenge to get the view that I want you guys to have and be able to still talk while we work together on this. Maybe here. I'm trying to find. This is magnetic, and I'm trying to find a place where it's going to sit and be steady. Looks like that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. It's gonna flop. Oh man. Here's where we had it before. Is that okay for you guys? What do you think? Let's rock and roll, baby. I think I'm gonna try that. It may be a little blurry. The best view is from up top. Let's look at that real quick. Oh. Let's do a little rotation. I'm going to leave some of you guys in charge. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it right up. Oh, thank you, door. I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick it right up there. I won't be able to talk to you, but you'll be able to hear me talking. Like I won't be able to chat back and forth with you, but you'll be able to hear me. How to make this work. Should have planned this out a little better. Okay. I'm thinking I stick the mount right there, and I put the camera right there. And I won't be able to, I'll be able to talk to you, but I won't be able to see your comments. Let's try that. I think that's going to work. Let me turn my camera around real quick. Front camera. There we go. This is a challenge, man. Every live stream presents its own set of challenges. This is probably the most challenging one that I've done in a while. I'm going to fall off the front of this thing. I've got to rotate it around a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, that's about right. I think that's about right. What do y'all think? What about the vibration of the machine? It might jumble the camera. We're going to find out. I'm going to run it for a minute, and I'm going to let you guys give me feedback in the comments. I'm going to jump back out, take a look, see what you have to say. But I think we're going to be good. It's motion. It's going to be moving, and this thing is going to be digging and moving also. It would be nice if we could be dead center, totally centered on that. And that way you guys could see exactly what's going on. Scooping up, tossing debris, all kinds of stuff. It looks pretty good. Berlin Valley Stables, you're in charge, brother. I'm gonna let you guys tell the people that come in what's going on here. We're gonna rock it out. Oh. Man, if I could just flip the camera over, I'd be able to read your comments and everything, but when I buy my own excavator, we'll set it up so we can do live streams. All right, this thing idles down while I'm sitting, and now it's idled back up. We're gonna run it until it starts calling for more DEF fluid. See those stumps and debris and sticks kind of rolling out of there? I'm gonna hop out right now and see if that's still within range of the camera. Kinda is. I think we need to go up. I have coffee in here. I totally forgot. Here's why I can't get anything done, man. Because I want to bring everybody with me. We're going to angle that up just ever so slightly. Now, the noise canceling on the DJI mic is sick. It is. It is awesome, isn't it? How are you? Dave White says, hey, Josh, how are you doping? I'm not doping, bro, but I'm doing well. Woo! I won't be able to see your comments, so people that are asking questions, you guys talk amongst yourselves. This is going to be fun. Roll with it, baby. I like to listen to a little bit of music when I'm not filming, and I've been doing a Steve Winwood marathon today. Also been listening to a little 96.3 WROV FM. Some people say I have a face for radio. What do you think? While I'm working, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what's going on this week. And I'll talk to you a little bit about what I'm doing. This has been a very, very busy week, in case you just joined me. And right now we're in a bit of a brush pile. We're kind of smoothing all this stuff out, trying to get the debris out so I can come back with a skid loader, scoop up the sticks and rocks. And so that's why I'm scattering out dirt. Okay, drive on up here a little bit. This is the end of the first, like, 300 yards. And this has taken me about 5 hours to get through. The next one's going to take me, I've got better and better as I've gone through this. And we're going to all stick together and hang out while I go through the next pile. All I'm doing here is just knocking dirt, spreading dirt out. The more I spread with this big, heavy machine, the less I have to spread with the skid loader. And this machine will run circles around the skid loader. What I just did right there would have taken me 4 times as long with the skid steer. So utilizing big equipment while we have it here. I'm sitting in the cab right now in case you guys are leaving questions and comments. I cannot see your comments. But I do have some moderators in there. If we get some nasty stuff, Chris, I'd love for you to moderate. Sometimes we get a little spammy stuff going on in there. A few of the moderators are in here today. Some of this dirt really turned out nice and clean. Most of it is basically topsoil. And we'll be spreading this out on the land. Don't get it perfect every time. I try to, but I don't. Nobody does. An experienced excavator operator might be looking at me thinking, man, what in the world is that guy doing? Well, this is how I know how to run it, brother. I'm not I don't run this thing. I've been running it for 20 years. I just run it on my farm when I can get it as a rental. Okay. We're going to spread this out just a little more, and then we're going to jump into that new pile right in front of us. Pretty fun. Oh, it's bouncy right here, though. Hold on, let's get squared away. Get dug in. Good, there we go. It won't be so bouncy. I bought the farm. I had no experience with any heavy equipment like this. I'd ran a skid loader before, and I was an electrician in the Air Force. So I'd ran line trucks, and I grew up in the country, but I didn't grow up quite with the operation that I have here. The farm dream was something that my grandfather had cattle. And the dream of starting a farm like this was really my own personal dream. It wasn't something that was brought on by somebody else. It was what I wanted to do. People like Greg Judy, Joel Salatin was a huge inspiration for me. I actually had a conversation with some of Joel's people this morning via email, trying to get him to come to the farm here. I'm going to be working with Polyface Farm very soon in trying to spread the word about regenerative farming, and Joel's got some awesome seminars that are going to be available for folks to enjoy, video seminars. Now, what am I digging into here? The nice thing about being in a cab and working at this time of year is that we don't have to worry about yellow jackets quite as much. And what you're seeing is just me plucking out stumps and debris. And then I'll push, and then I'll pluck. And I'll push, and then I'll pluck. So this week on the Stony Ridge, we got done with the land clearing project up there beside the outdoor kitchen. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I still have a lot of work to do, a lot of finish work to do, and this morning I had a rock picker delivered. Very nice fella. He's a farmer down in Burlington, North Carolina. He's a row crop farmer. Very, very nice fella. Talked to him a little bit about YouTube and about what I do, and about how this farm came about. Where we are at right now on this farm. When I first bought this land, it was 100% inaccessible, and now it is slated for fencing and pasture. I'm going to move forward. Got to get settled into a spot that doesn't bounce us to death. In other words, the tracks need to be set into the ground pretty firmly so it doesn't shake me to death. Let a little of that dirt come out, and also the debris. These are stumps that were pushed up 5 years ago. I dug all the stumps up in this pasture, and I left some of those pine trees you see as we turn around. And those pine trees are there for the shade for the cattle. By the time we get it fenced for cows, it will, those pine trees will be very mature. They'll be about 30 feet tall and will provide a lot of shade for our cattle. And eventually, at some point, they'll provide lumber. All the dirt that you see here was dirt that was attached to stumps. You can see a stump in this pile. And all of the green that you see in here is blackberry bushes. What you probably can't see is up close, there are a lot of mice running around in here. So we were destroying a little bit of rat habitat. I'm really surprised we haven't run up on like a bumblebee nest or something like that yet. There's a stump in there. Let's see if we can get that out. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. There we go. Not going to get all of the stumps out, but there's one. It's better to come in here with the grapple, my Raptor attachments grapple, and sort through this with the skid loader. I can move a whole lot faster. I've got this machine until Monday morning, and This is what my days look like until Monday. Happy Mother's Day to all those mothers out there. Now, Mother's Day, I think, is tomorrow. Doing a little family gathering here with the Gather Grill. If you guys missed Friday's video on the main Stony Ridge Farmer YouTube channel, check that out. When you leave here, that grill is super awesome. That makes the outdoor kitchen possible. I mean, that is super cool, and I've used it over and over and over again already, and I've only had it for 2 weeks here on the farm. I had date night the other night with my lady friend, and we cooked on the new Gather Grill. It's gathergrills.com if you haven't seen it. It's an expensive critter, but man, it's a lifetime purchase, to be honest with you. When you think about all the money you probably wasted in your life on stuff that you don't have anymore. When you buy something like that, that is a lifetime purchase. How many gas grills and charcoal grills have you guys been through in your life? I know I've probably been through 40. They just don't last, but when you buy something that's quality American made stainless steel, it just lasts. It's just a lifetime purchase. Again, just getting this debris out of here, it doesn't have to be perfect. Give her a good sling. Scatter the dirt and scatter the debris. That's the goal. Any of my good buddies that are local are watching. Hope you guys are doing well. All my friends are going out on the Dan River today for a little trip. I'm jealous. They're all headed out there at 1 o'clock. I'm a little jealous. They all need to stop picking on me about my cheap kayak, though. My buddies all really seek out the best canoes and kayaks they possibly can find. And the Old Town canoe seems to be the trend. The Old Town canoe that you can get from LL Bean. When I was a kid, my grandma liked to shop at LL Bean. I don't know if any of you guys shop at LL Bean. It's not a place where I've ever bought an article of clothing or anything. But they're all fussing at me about my Walmart kayak. And I learned a lesson. You buy a cheap kayak, you just got to learn how to balance a little bit better. That's kind of fun. I'm going to stop here in a second, check the camera, make sure everything's good. You guys give me some feedback on the camera position. Am I getting the angle that you prefer? Does it need to go angle down or angle up? Or is it just right? So taking the teeth on this bucket and skimming through the dirt to push out any logs, stumps, or debris. There you go. I could be pulling dirt back to me with every stroke also, but I don't want to pull it back underneath the undercarriage of this machine. I'm going to take a sip of coffee here in a second. Any of you guys all-day coffee drinkers out there? I am just about an all-day coffee drinker. Might not make my teeth any prettier, but I like it. I'm not here to win a beauty contest, I don't guess. I'm going to pull on up. Set this thing in nicely. There we go. Stump stuck on there. There we go. There's probably 300 stumps in here. that are 3/4 of the way rotted. If I left it for another year, 90% of the stumps would be totally gone. But I don't know if I'll have this excavator next year, so it's time to get the job done. What do they say? Make hay while the sun's shining, right? Lots of good dirt in here. I'll probably bring the dump truck over and get some of this good topsoil and bring it back over to the garden and use some of this in the garden. If I can get some good, clean topsoil like this, I think it'd make awesome garden soil. Okay, this thing's starting to beat me up a little bit. When I start pushing and it gets really hard like that, it means there's a stump. Probably a stump right in here. Let's see what we got. Give her a sling, boys and girls. Yeah, there it is. I see it. There's some science behind the time of year to cut your trees, the time of year to pile your debris. What I've found is if you're going to clear land, if you're going to clear cut land or clear land, cut trees, it's best to cut it when the sap is up in the tree. And that sugar will help entice things like termites and carpenter ants to get in there and consume the wood and debris. It'll rot faster with sugar in it. What does disease like? Disease likes warm, wet, and sweet. Right? This is something that I've learned over time in the as my being a nurse, registered nurse in intensive care unit for years and years and years. And it was never really told to me, you know. But think about it. What does disease like? It likes warm. It likes wet, and it likes sweet. What it doesn't like is cold, dry, and acidic, like honey. Even though honey is sweet, honey has some wonderful antimicrobial properties. We're going to talk about everything today, guys. I have no friends here. You guys are my friends. So much life experience to share. I'm going to check that camera right now. See what you guys have to say about the camera angle. If it's good, we'll leave it. If it's not, we'll adjust it. Hop out of here. Idle down. Okay. I'm going to fall. What do you guys say? Is the camera angle good? Looking good right where it's at. It says Plague of Badgers. Awesome. Are you guys enjoying the conversation here? What we're talking about? This video is awesome. Gives us a view of everything. Awesome. Awesome. This is what it's like to be in the machine. Tomorrow's Mother's Day and also my birthday. Cool, Dave. Sweet, brother. All right. Here we go again. We're just going to keep on going. I'm going to get a sip of coffee before I get started, though. That's good. Okay, here we go. You hear that thing beep a little bit? That was me having my foot on the wrong thing inside the cab here. Let's talk a little bit about, you know, a lot of people are pretty invested in the farm and invested in what's going on here on the farm and in my life. You guys that are fans of the channel that have been here for so long, you know, you're very well invested into this as my virtual friends. Let's talk about dating and relationship issue real quick. I have not talked to Miss Stony Ridge since she left out of here. She left on the 1st of January of 2024. I did not, after 15 times of getting back together, and you guys may or may not want to hear this, but we're going to talk about it real quick. It's the elephant in the room. I never ever wanted my relationship, my marriage to fail. Nobody, enters into a relationship like that for it to fail. Both parties have to understand their roles and their parts in life and in a relationship together. And there were some trust issues that I had, and I'm not going to be with a woman that I can't trust, and that's just all it is to it. I'm not going to have friends that I can't trust. I'm not going to be surrounded by people or with someone that I can't trust and believe in, and it's something that's super important for your partner, especially when you're taking on an undertaking like this. I really hate it for her. I hate it for us. I feel sorry for her, actually, and it's probably the wrong thing to say. But I will not. And if she's watching now, she still watches, I'm sure. I'm not gonna be back in touch with you. I'm just not gonna do it. It's gotten to the point where it's unhealthy for me. I am dating a very wonderful lady that has been awesome. She treats me very good. She's nearly polar opposite of my ex, who I was with for 14 years. It's a huge part of my life. But super happy, just super happy. I hated making that decision, but I have been a much better person and a much happier person for the choice that I made. And a lot of folks can really harp on the religious part of marriage. Marriage is not, the Bible was written by man, right? Marriage, in my opinion, and I'm not a Bible thumper, I guess is the word for it. I don't want to judge people by what the Bible says to do. I just don't want to do that. I judge a man from the content of his heart and not for his religion, a man or a woman or whatever, if you get my drift. And I understand that the sanctity of marriage is something that's super important, but I also understand that living a life in misery is not what my God would want me to do. So that's it. I'm happy. I'm happy. I do have moments, and anybody in my position would have these moments of what's it all about? I'm 46 years old. I don't have any kids. I'm building this big, beautiful place, and I no longer have anybody to share it with, really. So it's kind of heartbreaking. It ain't kind of heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking. But sometimes life throws you lemons, and you just got to make lemonade with it and persevere, keep pushing through. No better move that I made in my life than to get up here in the country and start living this country life. I didn't start building a farm because I wanted to be some sort of YouTube superstar or whatever, social media superstar. I started making videos so people could see what was going on and what the reality behind building a small farm like this might be. And to show you cool tools. I'm a tool guy. I'm a toolophile. Obviously, I'm in this giant machine having a blast. I just like this kind of stuff. So I'm living my very best life. And I encourage every one of you guys, if you're leaving comments right now, I encourage you all to live your very best life too. Don't let things get you down. It's normal to have ups and downs in life. And it's normal to be anxious. It's normal to be depressed. And it's normal to be happy. Celebrate each emotion in your life, man. That's just it. You got to celebrate those emotions in your life and not let them take you to a dark place. And if they do take you to a dark place, it's okay. Go to that dark place, embrace that dark place, and then come back from it. Come back stronger, come back smarter, come back a better person. It's just my theory on life. So there's my Tony Robbins moment on the excavator with you. I don't know if you guys think like that. Talk amongst yourselves. Tell me what you think. I'll go back and look at all the comments today. First thing in the morning tomorrow. I'll be up at about probably 4:30, 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, handling my business. And I see all of your comments, guys. So rest assured that I do see all of your comments. I quite enjoy your comments, and I do appreciate all of the constructive feedback and criticism. I don't really like destructive, insulting criticism. Nobody does. Nobody likes to be talked to like a dog, and I get that a whole lot on social media. If you do that to me, I understand that you're in a different place than I am, and I get it, but you'll remain in a different place than I am, because I won't hesitate to ban you from the channel. I hate to do that to anybody, but some people just seem to want to be mean. There's no reason to be mean. There's no reason to be angry and upset. The beautiful young lady that I'm dating is 49 years old. She's a little tiny bit older than me. Still of the same generation. I feel like she's just a great person. Last night we asked each other, well, what is it? What's the thing that draws you to me the most? And she asked me that, and I asked her the same thing. My answer to her was, the thing that draws me to you the most is your ability to give me crap. And that you're a beautiful lady with ambition, and maybe one day she'll be on the channel with us. We shall see. She lives in the city. She lives in town, but I lived in town too. What I do on the farm is not that big of a country lifestyle, I guess. It's not that much of a lifestyle change from living in town, other than you just have animals to take care of and more responsibility. You can't just up and leave and go somewhere and without taking care of your property and your critters. What did she tell me was the thing that she liked about me the most? And it really surprised me. She told me that the thing she liked about me the most was that I wasn't bothered by anything. Nothing seemed to bother me. And you know what? That is a learned attribute. All of us are bothered by things. Things bother all of us. Things get on our nerves. Everybody has things that get on their nerves. I might be getting on your nerves right now. But to bother you, you have to let things that matter bother you. And I most certainly wasn't like that in my previous relationship. I'm like that as a person, and I think my previous relationship brought out some of the worst qualities in me. I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity to move on and move forward. Will the farm ever have children? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Will I have someone to pass this place on to? I don't know. I have nieces and nephews, but I don't see them very much. They're actually coming to my Mother's Day thing tomorrow. I just don't know. I thought about putting the farm in a trust. And, it seems kind of crazy, but to work through all this and build all this and just to give it away as an educational center or as an agricultural center seems kind of silly. But honestly, I think that if I don't ever have children, that I think I'll leave the farm in a trust, to an educational trust of some sort, to never be sold, never be broken apart, never be developed. And that this place will serve as an educational center and a beautiful park with trails and hiking trails and fishing ponds, a place where my community can come and enjoy it. I think that's a worthwhile thing. You guys tell me what you think. You know, we get so hung up on stuff. I got a lot of stuff. That stuff doesn't make me happy. It just owns me. I don't own this land. This land owns me. And when I leave, whoever has it after me, it's going to own them too. So anyway, I was surprised to hear her say that nothing seems to bother me, except for when I'm out on the road and somebody cuts me off or doesn't use their turn signal and is either incompetent or rude. I just don't want people to be rude to me. It's the only thing I want out of life is respect, to not be treated poorly and lied to, or somebody be rude to me. I don't feel like I deserve that. I work too hard and I do too much good to be treated poorly. All right, we're plugging right along here. We're, I don't know, 50 feet into this pile. A lot more dirt in this pile than there was in the last one. This one's going to be a lot of work with the skid loader. See, the wind is kicking up right now. When I get off this machine, I've got to go mow my yard. Like I said, I'm going to run it till about 3 o'clock. I'm going to go mow the yard, and I'm going to be mowing the yard with the Ventrac. The Ventrac has been the most indispensable machine on the property here for property maintenance and management on a 150-acre place, and this place stays pretty groomed, and that Ventrac tractor has been the most instrumental machine out here on the farm. If it had a miniature hay baler on it, it would be perfect. The only thing to make the Ventrac better, if it had a PTO shaft. Wouldn't it be cool if they could come up with an attachment for the front of the Ventrac to bale hay and make little round bales? That'd be so cool. I bet you I could figure out a way to build one. It'd be kind of hard to see around it. You guys are just joining us, hit that like button, hit that share button. Share this with like-minded people. We're pushing through some dirt piles here. This is all debris that I piled up to compost. See this thing right here on the tip of my bucket, right there. That is a pokeberry root right there in the bucket. See that thing? Let's see if I can bring it all the way up here. Oh, it just fell. That's a pokeberry root. I think I can pinch that thing up, pick it up and bring it up here to us. Let's see what we got. How good has I gotten with the excavator? Can I pick up a pokeberry root? Oh, baby. There it is. So that is it's, I forget what you call it. Looks like a bulb, right? But that's what comes back year after year after year in a pokeberry bush. And poke salad, or pokeberry, is something that the locals around here really like. Pokeberry is known to have a poisonous berry, and if you overconsume it, the leaves of it will make you sick. And the berries will make you sick. It'll give you a bad, bad tummy ache. You can ferment them and make wine. My grandfather used to make pokeberry wine, and my dad made pokeberry wine. my great-grandfather also. Come from a long line of people that had a creative mind. Country people here in eastern Appalachia. Not western, eastern. We're in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. I'm just south of Martinsville, Virginia. And this is where I grew up. The dirt where I grew up, the soil is red clay. This is not red clay. This is a sandy loam. We are in a kind of a creek bottom area right here. I have seen the creek almost up to this pile. The pond that I'm going to build tomorrow is for flood control and for wildlife watering. That won't be a live video. I might go live again tomorrow, but the pond build is going to be a full-length YouTube/Facebook video. It's creeping on forward a little bit. I don't want to do this all day, but I have to. They're all blackberries. If there's an elderberry bush in there, I will save it. I will work my way around any elderberry bush that I see. And there's also a willow oak that's back in here that I've got to work my way around and hang around. We should be to that willow oak in about 15 minutes. I can just about see it. Thank goodness I won't have to mow around any of this anymore. This is kind of a pain in the you-know-what to mow around. So that was a fail. I needed to chuck that stump way up in the air. Here's another one. See that stump? It needs to be dropped from way up high. Hit the ground, shake all the dirt out of it. Because they won't burn with dirt in them. Or it takes longer to burn them with dirt in them anyway. Some honeysuckle in there. Lots of multiflora rose on the farm and lots of multiflora rose in this pile. I'm going to shut up for a few minutes and just keep working. I'm going to do my best to shut up. There's a log. That's a good one. That's a slinger. See those little white specks on the dirt? That's multiflora rose petals and blackberry petals. Mostly multiflora rose. Let's hope I don't hit another skunk. I'll know. I'll smell them before I see it. That's a good one right there. A couple stumps right there. This machine burns about 75 gallons of fuel over about an 8-hour period. You have to really move fast to justify the use of this machine. The rental cost, along with the cost of running the machine, virtually outweigh the reason to rent it. The only reason I'm renting it is I'm getting a pretty good deal from my friend Frank, who rented it for an entire month. And this is his last week of rental, so I'm kind of working for Frank, I guess. It looks like I'm scooping a lot more dirt than I really am. Difficult to run this machine until you get the hang of it, especially what I'm doing right here, skimming along the ground. There's actually a little more efficient way that I could be doing this. I could be scrubbing it back and forth, but I honestly just don't have the skill set right now. Every time I rub these teeth or tines through the debris, it leaves dirt behind and pushes up sticks and debris. Guys, if you'd like to pitch in, if you want to help, if you enjoy this content, you're welcome to leave any super chats, or I think they're called stars on Facebook. It's always appreciated. If you want to become a channel member and help support the farm, that'd be great too. Still in a government holding pattern right now, trying to get beef shipped out. Lots of government hoops to jump through. Rest assured, if you're a Patreon member and you're waiting to get an announcement for beef, I am working diligently to make that happen. I've got the boxes. I've got everything but the dry ice here on the farm to start shipping. I am heavily invested in that. I am invested into shipping Stony Ridge beef. I'm invested in it about $7,000 to $10,000 right now. And I haven't even shipped my first box of beef yet. Please rest assured, if you're a Patreon member and you're paying $5 a month, it really helps, and I appreciate it. You'll be the first to know. If you are interested in Stony Ridge beef, you can go to patreon.com/Stony Ridge Farmer and join our co-op. You have to be a paid member to be notified. Paid members will be notified first for sure. And if we have any extra, once we start shipping, we'll notify non-paid members. But I don't think we'll have any. It's just going to go so fast. Good old stump. See how I knocked all the dirt off that stump? It takes a special kind of person to work through this kind of methodic digging and moving, and it's just a very methodic, rhythmic activity. What do I see there? I see some barbed wire. Hold on, let's see what kind of skills we got here. We can get that barbed wire out with one tooth on the bucket. What do we got here? Yeah, just one tiny little piece of barbed wire. I'm not going to worry about that. That'll be the one that punctures a hole through the tire on the four-wheeler, won't it? The old-time farmer that used to own this, his name was Willie Gann. And I still keep in touch with and see Willie Gann's grandson on a weekly basis. If you want to see who Willie Gann is, you can go on YouTube and you can search Stoneville, North Carolina tornado. And you'll see We had a tornado back in 1998 that took out most of the town. And you'll see Willie being interviewed or driving through in an old red truck. It's a tough video to find, but Stoneville, North Carolina tornado. There's a lot of stories in this little town about that. Horrible, horrible. People lost their lives. A lot of businesses were destroyed. This is the most inviting town I've ever been to. This place is just like Mayberry, like Andy Griffith. I know the police chief. I know the mayor. I mean, it's just like Andy Griffith, which is not a bad way to live, guys. Hustle and bustle and speed at which our world is nowadays make you sick. Everybody's all in a hurry to do nothing. If you don't believe that, go out on the freeway. Take a little drive, a relaxing drive on the freeway while everybody drives by you at 9,000 miles an hour, weaving in and out of traffic. Like, for some reason they don't understand. If you fall down, if you just fall down, if I step off of this machine and I just fall down, right? I could break my ankle. I could puncture a lung, bruise a rib, break a leg, break an arm, break a hand, and people are driving down the highway at 120 miles an hour thinking they're safe in their vehicle and taking everybody else's life into their own hands. I try to stay off the road as much as I can. When I take this back, this machine's gonna be picked up on Monday morning. All the tracks have to be totally clean and free of debris. It's gonna take 2 hours to clean the tracks on this machine. Not fun. If you're just now joining us, we are digging our way through the skunk village here on the Stony Ridge Farm. I've encountered a lot of skunks in this pile of debris. Let's back up and get this log out of the way right here. It'll be several weeks before I get back in here and smooth this out with my own piece of equipment. Mostly because I need a break. I just need a break. Everybody needs a little break. I'm a little bit behind on my regular work, and I'm definitely behind on getting the shop organized and squared away. We are the furthest point away from the house currently. It takes about, if I had to walk home, I think it's probably 1.5 miles to the house from here. And if I had to walk home, it'd take me a good 20, 25 minutes. Probably 20 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna try to push all that, but there's no way. I just gotta move it. A lot more dirt in this pile than it was in the other pile. Cannot get a dump truck over here on this side of the farm. If we could have, we would have loaded all this up in a dump truck and dumped it in a hole back in the day. pizza's making me sleepy, guys. Hey, Mr. Stumpy. I could scoop out each individual stump right now. All that's going to do is slow me down when I need to come. I have other projects to address with this machine, so I need to roll through it pretty quick. I think this is funner than watching the Weather Channel, that's for sure. It's much funner than watching the news. I'm getting shaken around a little bit here. I'm going to try to twist the machine a little bit and get settled into a good flat spot. Nope, thought I had one there. Maybe there. Try that. So a cedar tree right there. The timber was cut on this area approximately 7 years ago. The pine trees that you see out in the pasture, and you'll get a glimpse of one here in just a second as we rotate around. Let me get a handful of dirt here. The pine tree that you see in the background right there is about 6 years old, I think. I think it's been 6 years. It's been about 7 years since we cut the timber. Really cut the timber just to get a fresh start. Clean slate. And we replanted this entire, what's pasture now, which may end up being hayfield. We replanted all this in second generation loblolly pine. There's another one right there in the background. Planted them about every 15 feet. So what you see in the pastures right now, in these new pastures, is loblolly pine that we decided to leave. When I started clearing the land, the prettiest and the best ones, I left. The trees that seemed to be doing the best were the trees that were beside another stump, which is kind of interesting. Every time I went to pluck out more trees, the ones that were growing next to a stump evidently had more nutrient where the stump was rotting. Pine trees love very acidic soil, so they grow pretty well in really poor soil, and this is a tree that you would typically harvest in 25 to 35 years. 25 for pulpwood, 35 for lumber. And the lumber industry, or timber industry, I believe, is the #1 agricultural industry in the state of North Carolina. I do believe. I think tobacco used to be, but I think timber is now the #1. We're a very temperate climate. Summers don't get too awfully hot. It stays pretty wet. So we're not the desert. Humidity's good. And inherently acidic soils. Clay. Pine likes acidic soils and clay. That's why you hear about the Georgia pines. That red dirt in Georgia. Did get fussed at quite a bit for clearing out some of the trees that I did in the last few weeks' videos. We got part 3 coming up. All the project there at the behind the mega shop is just about done. I've got to smooth it, pick up the rocks, and plant grass seed. Got a lot of folks that are really concerned that have been blinded by the media about deforestation. This is not deforestation. This is taking back overgrown, brushy land. And guys, grassland produces more oxygen and sequesters more carbon than forest land. So we're not taking out the rainforest in the Amazon here. We're building pasture land. Think about it. We have coniferous trees, which typically don't lose their leaves in the winter. Coniferous, cone, pine cone. They keep their greenage all winter long, but they don't grow a lot in the wintertime. And then you have deciduous trees, which grow in the summertime, and they grow their leaves out in the summer, and then they shed them in the fall. Well, think about that. Think about grassland versus hardwood trees, deciduous trees that lose their leaves. What's producing oxygen? Photosynthesis is what produces the oxygen. The plants are breathing in carbon dioxide and breathing out oxygen. How much debris comes from a tree, just the leaves on a tree in the fall? The answer is not a lot compared to grassland. Grass is growing. It's green typically year-round. Different types of grasses, I understand, aren't green year-round, but they're engaging in photosynthesis year-round, where a deciduous tree or a hardwood tree or bush doesn't produce oxygen, it doesn't sequester carbon, and doesn't leave debris on the ground. Leaf litter. Think about it. Mowing your yard. How many times, if you mowed your yard, your grass was 8 inches high. Let's just say 6 inches high. You mowed 6 inches off of your grass every time you mowed it. And you mowed it 100 times during the summer. Right? Let's just say for simple sake, that's 50 feet of grass. It's 50 feet of biomass, 50 feet of carbon, 50 feet of leaf debris put back into the soil. It's pretty amazing. You would not produce that much carbon in a forest, because the leaves grow throughout. They grow in the spring, shed in the fall, and it's over. So grassland puts more carbon in the soil, is better for the soil and better for topsoil than forest land. Hence the grain belt of our country, where the buffalo roamed. That grassland out there, those Great Plains, have not inches of topsoil, but feet. Sometimes 10 or 20 feet topsoil. This is 90% dirt, 5%, 10% topsoil. But it's still better than nothing. This is what we would refer to as a sandy loam soil. You can go on your individual county GIS websites and you can look up the soil types in your county, in most counties on the GIS website. You can also see what your neighbor's property is valued at. Anybody else's property values nearly double this year for property tax purposes? Our property values went up 60% for this last appraisal. So our county is going to be taking that much more money out of the pockets of its people Not cool. I'm not really too happy about that. Nobody in our county is very happy about that. Especially those elderly folks that are on a fixed income. The property taxes just keep on going up. No way, people's income isn't going up, but their taxes are going up. It's pretty sad. Okay, I got a mess right here. I got to back up and get that. Time I get done with this machine, I'll probably have burned about $1,000 worth of diesel fuel. Pretty quiet though. Somebody tell us what a John Deere 210 excavator, what horsepower this thing is. I think it's 140. Just joining us, I can't see your comments because my camera is outside of the excavator. But you can still hear me. Coffee break. I'm falling asleep in here. It's amazing how you can get sleepy in something like this. It's just rockabye, baby. It's rocking me to sleep. Rocking me to sleep. One of my favorite songs, Sweet Baby James by James Taylor. Rockabye, Sweet Baby James. Tell you something that's pretty special to me that recently happened. You know, it's Mother's Day tomorrow. This just kind of reminds me of Mother's Day, and I know my mother and my aunts and my uncles and everyone in my family is going to be missing my grandma, who passed away not too long ago. I think this will be our second Mother's Day without her, I do believe. Her name was Nadine, and Nadine was a character. Nadine was a very fun, outspoken, fun-loving lady. Best grandma anybody could ever ask for. I lived with Grandma Nadine for probably 2 years in high school when my parents separated. And what a great grandma and grandpa I had. I still have one surviving grandmother. She's 93. Try to get up there and spend a little time with her when I can. But something really special in my heart is the other day, you know, Grandma had an estate, and I didn't get anything left to me in the will, but Grandma had a Martin guitar. And the last person that ever played that guitar was my grandma or my grandpa. That's a 1978 Martin DB28, I think is what it's called. So I bought it from the estate, and it's a guitar that I'll never ever get rid of. It's a family heirloom. Almost brings tears to my eyes thinking about it. I don't even think I'll change the strings out. I mean, how often in life will I ever be able to pick up a musical instrument and strum the strings of that musical instrument that my grandmother also strummed, my grandfather also strummed? they're gone. They're gone, never to return. Never miss an opportunity, guys, to tell people that you care about. Tell them how you feel. Never miss that opportunity. If there's one thing I can inspire you to do today, stop watching the video and call your grandma or call your dad or call your mom or your sister, brother, stepdad, stepmom, and just let them know you love them. Because we're not going to have everybody, even a friend, even a close friend, just let them know. We're not going to have them all forever. And I promise you this, you'll never regret doing that. You just will never regret it. I call my grandmother that's still living, probably once or twice a week. Still talk to my dad 2-3 times a week. And my mom. Never miss an opportunity to tell a loved one that you care. Might seem cheesy at first. But what's better, to seem cheesy or make somebody feel good? Look at this. I have so much to clean up. Look at that. Man, that just goes on forever. I'm going to pop out and take a look at the camera. Make sure we're working. We still going? I think we're still going. Some grandkids. Yeah, thank you guys. You're all still in here. That's awesome. We got 110 people in here. Guys, hit that like button. We're going to keep on rolling. You want to keep on rolling? We are 1 hour and 32 minutes in. I think we should just keep on rolling. It's a little weird having a one-way conversation in here, but I'm glad you guys are sticking with me. Got a last sip of coffee. Might have to go back to the house and get more coffee after this. There's another debris pile, 2 more debris piles like this over in the other pasture, just connected to this. I will go spread those out today too. Do have to mow the yard. It is getting, I might have to bush hog it if I don't mow it today. Plus Mother's Day's tomorrow, and the whole family's coming down here to enjoy the new Gather Grill and the outdoor kitchen. If you look straight to the left of the bucket there, you can see up through the woods a little bit. There's a gate right there, and you'll see more of it as I turn back over there. That's where the cows will be released from the bottomland pasture over here and brought into this pasture. All of this was planned years ago. Years ago. Put that gate right there for 2 reasons. First reason is if I were to bring, and you can really see it now, there's a couple sycamore trees right there in the gate. If I put that gate right there, in case I decided to clear this pasture, I could run the cows across the creek right there over into the new pasture. It's a nice big creek. 6 creeks on the property here. 6 creeks and 4 ponds currently. There'll either be 5 or 6 ponds by the end of the day tomorrow. I may ask Frank to extend the rental on this for another week. I want to extend the rental on it. I could do so much more. I think we're in our first yellow jacket nest right now. might ask yourself, why am I plucking out debris and mainly taking it over to the right? Well, I'm right-handed, but it's not because I'm right-handed. It's because this dirt needs to be pushed off down that hill to fill in the gully. It looks pretty smooth over there, but it's really not. I'm going to bring the Raptor attachments, the big bucket, over here once I scrape through and get all the debris out. And I'll be moving massive piles of dirt. We're going to get to a point in the skid steer's life that I'm going to have to put new tracks on it. A skid loader or mini track loader is the best purchase ever made on the farm. I had a wheeled little John Deere 210 skid loader. We called him Skiddy Bop. And once I changed over to a track machine, there's no looking back. Wheeled loader is great, and we've got the cast loader. We'll also bring that over here and get mastered up on that. It's no better purchase than that track skid loader, especially for working dirt like this. Got a log in there. There it is. So I had the excavator here for a week, but man, it really put the rain down last week, and that set me back on the usage of this machine. So I'm fairly behind. I did run it several days, but I had to wait till things dried out. We're getting there. Come back here later in the summer. I won't be sorting through this for quite some time. It'll be at least another 2 or 3 weeks before I come back in here and pick my way through this debris. I don't know if y'all can tell, but the debris field is getting wider. In other words, this brush pile is a little bit wider right here. It's typically about 20 feet wide. This is probably about 30 to 40 feet wide. Cut timber on the farm, we netted about $42,000 from the timber cut. It wasn't very high quality timber. It was a lot of pulpwood, a lot of stuff that went for just wood chips. We had to get a fresh start, a clean slate here. Basically, I was handed a blank piece of paper and taught myself how to build a farm. Got a video coming out pretty soon about the top 5 worst mistakes you can make trying to build your own farm property. Got to figure out a catchy title for that one. I'm going to give you the top 5 best things that I did and the top 5 worst things that I did. Lots of multiflora rows in this pile right here. All that green that you see is multiflora rows. You can Google that if you want to know a little more about multiflora. Multiflora, I think it's spelled multiflora, multiflora, or multifloral rows. The scourge of the farm. It'll start growing in a pasture, and if you leave it alone, it'll just keep on growing. The cows won't fool with it. They'll eat the tender young leaves out of it, but it grows so fast. By the time you've rotated the cows back through, a bush can be 10 feet around, and then next year 20 feet around, and then next thing you know, you got a tree growing up through it, and then next thing you know, you've got a hedgerow. What the hedgerows do? Provide shade for the cows. So maybe multiflora rose isn't all that bad. Provide shelter for tree growth. It's one of the mistakes that I made on the farm. One of the biggest mistakes I made on the farm was to just go through and clean out all the trees. That's why you see those pines. I messed up. Should have left more trees. Should have left clusters of trees. Clusters of 3 or 4 or 5 trees. That way our animals have plenty of shade. I don't really worry too much about the shade unless it gets over about 88 degrees. When it does, the cattle can develop heat stress and high humidity. And heat stress can take a cow out. So we really have to time the cattle moves with the weather. Cows are on their first round through the farm right now. They're making their way all the way around. Last year at this time, I was feeding hay. Same number of cattle. This year at this time, I have more grass than I know what to do with. It's a testimony to regenerative farming and what I'm doing here. Our pastures are 4 times better this year than they were last year. Creating content like I do on social media affords me the opportunity to really look back on what I've done and a video record of what it looks like. Let's get this stump off of here. There you go, buddy. There's another one right there, I think. Shake some dirt off of that. It's pretty much all gone. All right. Exactly what we want. Are the baby deer out where you guys live? Are you starting to see some deer fawns? We've got baby deer out already on the property. So mama deers are dropping the babies. This is about the right time, April, May. I'm going to hear a loud beep in just a few minutes. We are about to run low on DEF fluid. What that means is I got to go to the Walmart. It's all right, I got to go to Walmart anyway. I got to get fixings for tomorrow, and I'm all out of cat food. We've got 5 cats on the farm. All indoor kitties. I mean outdoor kitties. No indoor animals really to speak of. There's a lot more dirt in this than there was in the other one. I'd like to thank Frank for that. Way more dirt in this than the other one. All right, see that thing right there? That log? It's a little longer than I want to handle with the skid steer. So what are we going to do? We're going to break that log. How are we going to break it? I'm going to hit that thing right about there. I'm going to miss that thing. There it goes. Now it's broken. pinch it back up. Release a little bit, gouge it into the ground. Down a little bit. Gouge it into the ground and break it in half. Just like that. Mushroom season's about to kick off here on the farm. Those puffball mushrooms that you see out in the pastures, out in your yard. Do your own research, but the puffballs that are here on our property are, or on my property, are edible, and they're delicious. Make a great addition to any soup or steak. They're absolutely delicious. They're good as a thickener, so if you have a sauce or a steak, a sauce or a soup that needs a little thickening, you can take those puffballs, and they have to be white, fresh and white. They can't be all putting out their spores when they're about done, but they have to be just new and fresh and white. Put that in a soup, and man, the culinary value of a wild mushroom versus the culinary value of a mushroom you bought in the store, it's a night and day difference. Really into learning the purposes of different plants and edible landscapes, edible mushrooms, edible things. We've got a greenhouse going up soon, and we'll start propagating a lot of fig trees and a lot of edibles. Mulberries, figs, blackberries, plums. Speaking of, and also what we talked about a little bit earlier, the elderberry. So many medicinal and herbal applications for plants on the farm. The whole goal was not to eat pizza like I did today. The whole goal here is to live off the land, to be able to raise most everything that I can eat and be self-sustained. And it's totally possible. And it's totally possible in as little as 1/3 of an acre or smaller. You don't need 150 acres to make it to have enough to survive. Honeybees are enough for a person to survive. Just 1 tablespoon, there's that bee. Just 1 tablespoon of bee pollen is enough protein to sustain a man for a day. You can harvest bee pollen from your honeybees and you can survive. I'm hearing. I think I'm hearing some dry bushings that might need a little bit of oil and grease. You're constantly moving a machine like this, you're building up heat. And you can hear them start to creak a little bit. Once they start to creak, you better get some grease in there. And once that DEF fluid alert goes off, you better get some DEF fluid in there too. And mine just went off. We are approximately halfway through with this nearly 200-yard long debris field. I don't think I'm going to make it all the way through without having to put some DEF fluid in. Thought I was going to get through this today, but I honestly don't think I'm going to. I got one for you guys. Here's an educational moment. How many of you guys have had a stinky car? Oh, a baby possum. Baby possum. Check him out. Oh, let's get him. Come on, little buddy. Oh, I got to catch that baby possum. Let's go get him. Hey, little buddy. Hey, hey, little buddy. I won't hurt you. I won't hurt you. Don't worry. I won't hurt you. A baby possum. And now he's playing possum. Oh, check it out. Hey, little buddy. Look at him pretending like he's asleep. You're dead. You're perfect. I know you're dead. Oh, I can feel his little heart beating. I'm going to set him down over here. That's a first. Hey, little fella. It's okay. We'll put you down. Let's get you over here. Shoo-hoo! That was a fun surprise. That thing. Shoo! Stinking little thing. My shoes are totally full of dirt again. So let's read some of your comments real quick. Rob says, great meeting you today. Good luck with all the rocks. Barbecue burgers. Waxhaw, North Carolina. Roses smell good. Multiflora rose really doesn't have too much of a smell. The possum's still sitting right there where I just put him. He's laying there playing possum. Soils look nice and soft. Yeah. Very nice. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you all so much for joining me today. I've got to get on out of here. The little possum is running across the pasture over there now. I got to dig just a little bit more. I'm going to give it about 20 more minutes. And then I've got to run over to the Walmart, get some depth fluid, go get the grease gun, and grease this machine. I can hear it squeaking, so we got to take good care of it. Thank you guys so much for joining me on the Stony Ridge today. Hit that like button when you go out the door. Share these videos with like-minded people. And please go watch today's video I released this morning over on YouTube. And Friday's video, that gather grill, you get to see what I do on my downtime, and that was pretty fun. There's not a lot of downtime on the farm, but that was really, really fun. Thanks, guys. Hit that like button. We'll see you next time. Thank you to all my moderators, Plague of Badgers. Thank you guys so much. Chris, I appreciate you, buddy. You guys take care. Have a great day. I got more work to do. Woo!